Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning, everybody. We want to say welcome again to this wonderful program of Wealth Secret Mindset Mentorship. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again today, being Tuesday of the month of April 2022. It's your regular host, Dr. Afolabi Olatunji. And then we have something that we want to really share with you today. Remember, we started this weekly teaching series yesterday with the wonderful topic, which we tag, how you can, basic, or we call it fundamental to life change and success. And then we look at success as being something that everyone needs to understand. And we talk about success being a whole lot of things yesterday, giving nugget point, and also telling people that it's not just about doing those extraordinary things that make success. It's doing those ordinary things and then doing it extraordinarily well that actually give people success. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, we said we're going to be going deep. And talking about going deep, we are taking you deep down, which is we're going to be looking at the second key point to having to understand fundamentals of life change and success. So today we're going to be talking about wealth. Oh, quite interesting, right? A lot of people say wealth is everything. Everyone have different meanings to how they look at wealth. Being a subject, look at wealth. People can actually talk about wealth in different manners. People talk about wealth and say wealth is the possession of different things. I want to begin by letting you to understand that when you look at the subject wealth, wealth, you can look at it that they are something that comes from a wide variety. So, all right, it brings about wide varieties of different mental images, all right, different mental images. And we're talking about mysteries, all right, is very important because wealth being a subject on its own is very broadened, and I want us to really look at it. So first, I said it's something that brings about wide varieties of mental images. And when we say mental images, we talk about the mysteries, and we talk about the mixture inside that mysteries that makes it more. And what are these mental images? The mental images are like something that you and I will look at and say, maybe his car, maybe his house, maybe it's some sort of thing. You want to be wealthy. You just look at yourself and say, why am I doing this thing? It's why. You're picking up a job. The reason is first, you want to be wealthy. You look at the effect or the way the job will change your life, the way the business will change your life. Somebody tell you about a business now, you want to start there, say you can earn $1 million from that business. What comes into your mind first is the mental images, the wide varieties, how that money, the income is going to change your life. And in my own kind of business, in my own kind of industry, the first thing anybody tell you about an opportunity, the first thing that comes to your mind is that you're just going to look at it and say, man, the effect of this income, the effect of this business, the income that you've talked about, how it's going to change your life, how it's going to help you to shaping and, take you from that bottom into higher places, how you're going to be able to acquire, different, things. And that's why I put, and I said, there are wide varieties of mental images. So you can look at wealth. Wealth brings about wide varieties of mental images. And when you look at mental images, you're talking about, the mysteries and the mixtures which, put together that makes up those, images. And those images are things that you are hoping to get. So another person will say, well, wealth is what you call freedom from financial pressure, right? Some people look at it and say it's a freedom from financial pressure. That could be what some persons are, the way they look at wealth, the way they view it, the subject, wealth. They say financial freedom, or maybe you just call it having enough financial substance for yourself and to be able to do a lot of things. Financial substance are, what we call money, of course. You have enough money to do a whole lot. But, you can also look at it in another manner, or some persons still call it and say, freedom from debt. You've been indebted, but you know that when you're wealthy, you will be definitely free. Wealth is a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Some persons are going to call it, freedom from everything. In fact, benevolence is one of them. You're looking at yourself, power, opportunity, it gives you things. Wealth is everything. That's why they say, you have to conceive and have the mind of a wealthy person. All right. There is a way the wealthy people think and the poor people think. So the understanding of the subject wealth or being wealthy can actually bring about a whole lot of life change. So first of all, as you are connected to this program, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself wealthy? Do you ever believe that you're going to be wealthy? Do you ever believe that, you will be really, really wealthy? Or do you have so many mental images that you want to bring to life? Do you think that the thing you're doing right now can actually help to bring about those things in terms of those mysteries and mixtures in your subconscious mind, helping to bring them to life? Now, but in this case, or as we're going to be talking today, we're going to be more specific about the way we look at wealth. So you can give wealth in a different meaning, but what we want to talk here today, we're going to be talking about wealth in a different form of what we call financial freedom. And that is where I'm going to narrow it down to. So I'm going to be more specific about talking about wealth in a simple term, financial freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, what is financial freedom? You can call it wealth. Wealth is financial freedom. You want to be free financially. You want to be free from some of these financial pressures and financial obscurity. You have been long deal. Maybe you've been oppressed. Somebody has oppressed you with his own wealth. And you look at this and say, man, one day I'm going to be wealthy too. And when I'm wealthy, I'm going to buy this thing. When I'm wealthy, this is what comes to me. So ladies and gentlemen, how do you look at wealth? How do you view wealth? So I want you to have a different feeling, the different philosophy, the different mindset when you talk about the subject matter called wealth. All right. So remember, today we're talking about wealth as tag financial freedom. All right. So you can look at wealth in different matters. You can look at wealth in your own way, debt, freedom, opportunity, power, benevolence. You can look at wealth. Maybe you're looking at it that having to bring about your own dreams to life. That's it. But what we're going to be talking about today is financial freedom. So let's get into it. Financial freedom. What is financial freedom? Obviously, you want to be free from financial pressures. You want to be relieved of some of this financial obscurity. Remember, the basic, or rather you call fundamentals to life change and success. One of them is success, and the second one is wealth. Before we talk about tomorrow on happiness, all right? So you need to understand that. So wealth, we call it one of the outcome of the conversion of these mental images is called wealth. So what are these conversion? So you look at this conversion in terms of an enterprise into currency and equity. That is what I will put wealth. I wrote it down. Let me give it to you straight up and in a simple way. Wealth, you can look at wealth, all right, that it's one that comes from the conversion of an enterprise and currency into an equity. So what is the conversion of an enterprise, an equity, all right? What is it? We're calling it, those are the things that you have been putting, the effort you have been putting into something, the daily effort, the commitment, the commitment, the push you're putting into something that you're doing every day, knowing fully that it is going to bring about some sort of equity. And when we say equity, it means, money. It means some, money in terms of, fiat currency. All right. And this money is going to relieve a whole lot. If you look at that definition I gave you, that I said is the conversion, all right, of an enterprise. What's an enterprise? What you find doing, what you are dedicated at. And that's where it's going to get you. That thing that you are dedicated at into currency and equity. What is currency? Whatever you're doing, everything you're putting into everything, like you starting a business right now, You're looking at you doing everything. And that's why we talk about, everything we're doing in this class is, geared towards something. And part of that destination, or the destination, is this particular topic we're teaching. And that's why we tell you, you have to be focused along the line. You have to be focused for you to be able to achieve that financial, equivalent, or the financial wherewithal. You have to be focused. Someone that is not focused cannot really have this, conversion of an enterprise into currency and equity. You're not going to have it. You're not going to start something and drop it. So that wealth will not come. That financial freedom, you're not going to be able to attain it, because you are being divided. You are not committed. You are not putting everything into it. And another way you can look at wealth is that you look at wealth in terms of freedom from different financial pressure, because you are being pressured. Maybe your landlord, your landlord is pressuring you. You got to pay the house rent. Maybe you started a mortgage, and then you just stopped somehow. The business you're doing, or the job you're doing, you've been fired. You can't complete it again. House mortgage, you cannot complete it, and then you're stuck. Or maybe you started a plan to do something, and then you're stuck along the line. So you are being pressured. As you've been pressured, and everything inside of you is that, how do I get the money? How do I raise the money? How do I be able to, get over this, financial pressure? And that is where you must first understand that everything that has to do with life change has its own basic. And part of the basic is this wealth. Wealth is everything. Wealth is what I call the possession of great financial resources that improves the quality of your life and gives you another dignity and expanded lifestyle. It took me time to be able to put down that, definition. So put that definition down. It's going to really help you. I said, wealth is the possession of great financial resources that improves the quality of your life and gives you an added dignity and expanded lifestyle. That is how wealth works. That is the way wealth, comes to change everything, our perception, our life. It transforms us automatically. Someone look at me on Sunday, about 3 different persons, and say, Afolabi, it's like you look different. I'm just dressed. I'm just like who I am. I started looking at myself. I said, am I truly different that I came home, I asked my wife, I said, some people said I look differently. My wife said, yes, because I've been feeding you well. And, that's why you look differently. I just laughed. I busted into laughter. But these things comes. It's not about the feeding well. It's about having that relaxed state of mind. It's about having to, put down those mental pressures. I want to understand and put in place, what you want first. That is prioritizing what works for you and what you want to get into. You see, everything may not look like it at first, but I can tell you, when you are committed into what you're doing, that great word, great success will definitely meet you at what you're doing. Eventually, it's going to help you. You will start seeing that all the conversion of that enterprise, what you're doing, it doesn't matter. Don't be pressured. Don't be pressured. Be committed. Be disciplined, because discipline is still what we're going to talk about. And that one is very broad. We're going to talk about that one, I think, on Friday, and I'm going to give it to you much more, because that thing, in that conversion of your enterprise into currency and equity, there's something that makes it happen. And what makes it happen is the discipline. The discipline in it is what is going to help you to enjoy the better lifestyle, the better life change, the thoughtfulness of what the wealth or the money is going to do in your life. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to start thinking about wealth. I want you to start thinking wealth. Think like a wealthy person. There is a difference, there's a difference between a wealthy person and a poor person. A wealthy man think in a different way compared to the way the poor people think. Poor people always think that they are, the less privileged, that the wealthy people are always privileged. Maybe they have connection. No, sometimes it's not like that. And I know some of us here on this program that I know that we have good relationship. I know how some of us got started. I know what we commit into something. I know that, the way things are going in your life is not because it started today. It has been something you are putting in place over the time. You have committed and look at it and say, I'm going to be wealthy in this thing I'm doing. You have to commit and come to that altar of conclusion by telling yourself, I will achieve great wealth in what I'm doing. I will achieve great success in what you are doing. Remember, it's still the success, the end result of success is still wealth. Wealth is money. Wealth is the conversion of an enterprise into equity and currencies. Of course, when you have it, you can spend it anywhere. You're not going to be put down. You're not going to be put down. Even the Bible said, lack of money is the root cause of all evil, right? So you don't want to say you lack this financial wherewithal. Ladies and gentlemen, start thinking about it in a different way. Look at wealth that nobody is special to be wealthy. People that are wealthy ain't special at all. They started the same way. They are committed in what they want to do. And then guess what? When this wealth start coming, sometimes it doesn't look like it. You just start seeing those ordinary things that is changing. Some people look at Afolabi and say, Afolabi, hey, you're changing. Like I told you, people told me in charge about 3 persons. I don't know what changes. I asked my wife. I told my wife said it's because I've been feeding you well. It's beyond the feeding. Sorry, but I know my wife is trying anyway. It's beyond the feeding. But guess what happened? When they see you, people can tell. It's not being under some financial pressure. It is not being, having it to show on you that you need this, you need that. It's ability to be able to handle it. And the fact that you know that you're going somewhere. The fact that you know that God said you're not going to be in debt. He said when others are talking, casting down, you will be celebrating, lifting up. He said you will be a lender to many nations and not a borrower. Those are the promises of God for you. So start thinking in the likeness of God. Start thinking in the likeness of how God wants you to be, to dominate, to live in abundance, to live in prosperity. And that is what they call wealth, prosperity. Having to be debt-free, having to live above financial obscurity, having to understand that you cannot be poor, having to have a different philosophy, having to think differently. Like, I had a friend of mine came to my house yesterday. We're having a talk and I said, see, and he said, this is what everybody is doing. And when he said, this is what everybody is doing, I called him. I said, listen, when you do what every other person is doing, guess what happened? You get the same result they are getting. I said, what? When you do something differently and you think differently from the way others are thinking. And I said, that is where the principle of the 95 percenters and the 5 percenters, come out. I said the 95 percenters do what every other person is doing. And that is why they are classified under the 95 percenters. And the 5 percenters are the one that does the thing differently from the 95 percenters are doing. So they are seeing it and say, at first, the 95 percenters will look at the 5 percenters and you are being weird. You don't even know what you are doing. Your ways are not straight. I don't understand you again. You have, so let them perceive you, all right? But stay focused. Stay focused on what you are doing. Eventually, I can tell you, great wealth, great success will come out from it. So ladies and gentlemen, that's it from us this morning. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at the subject matter, happiness. Happiness is another one. Happiness is deep. And after happiness, we're going to take you a little bit further into discipline. So it is loaded. And what we want you to do is to keep, staying put, listen to this message, listen to this, this mentorship class in case you're watching or in case you are not available to join our live broadcast. We encourage you to make sure you go to our YouTube page. Remember, the best way to get the notification is to click on the bell button and, click on, the active part of it. And then so that every time we upload our new content, you're going to be notified via your email. And then YouTube will also notify you that there's new content from Wealth Secrets Mindset Mentorship class. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is where we drop with the curtain today. We encourage you to be part of our class. Remember what we do here. We educate, we'll empower, and we'll also enriched with all the necessary resources and information that will empower you mentally to live the very best of your life. Somebody said, you are doing motivation. This is not motivation. This is strictly mindset development teaching. And that's what we do. And that's why it's a bit differently. We're not motivating you, all right? Because you can motivate an idiot. What you have is a motivated idiot. So that's not our goal, is to help you have a different philosophy, different mindset, different approach to life, all right? So that you can be different among every other person, all right? Guys, that is it. And that is all from us. I'm your regular host, Dr. Afolabi Olatunji.